We got a lot to dive into today, so I'm not going to waste any bit of your time. First up, we're going to talk about what the Cleveland Browns just gift wrapped for the Green Bay Packers if they feel so obliged to partake in it. And then on the back half of today's show, we're going to talk about Zack Tom and what he reportedly wants to get paid. Obviously, we know the right tackle is searching for a new extension. Will Green Bay pay that price tag that he is looking for? Before we get into the Cleveland Browns news, we got to talk about this sub battle because our Eagles Now host right here at Chat Sports, his name is Chase Sr., he wanted to challenge us today. And he thinks because they beat us in the first round of the playoffs, he thinks our fan base is not near good enough as the Philadelphia Eagles are. Let's go race to 50 subs, he says. Whoever gets there first is the winner. If y'all hate the Eagles, if you hate Eagles fans, and if you love the Green Bay Packers, those are 3 great reasons to hit that subscribe button. If you want another one, oh yeah, 100% free. Help me out. Let's be Eagles now. Let's get to that race to 50 subs first. Up first on today's show, thank you to our Cleveland Browns. Not our Cleveland Browns, but the Cleveland Browns, because the Green Bay Packers now have another edge option if they feel like they need to add to that department, which I think we all agree that we wouldn't mind if they added to the edge department. The Cleveland Browns released veteran edge Ogbo Okoronkwo yesterday. If you don't know about him, he's 30 years old. He spent pretty much the majority of his career bouncing around from place to place, but he's just a seasoned and solid rotational pass rusher in the National Football League. Okay, now the question that needs to be answered is, why did Cleveland feel the need to let him go versus somebody else? My opinion on that, it's most likely he was just a cap casualty. They felt like they were paying him a little bit too much, or that he counted more against the cap than they wanted him to, and so they said, sayonara, go find somewhere else in free agency. If you look over the last 4 seasons, he's had some pretty good numbers, especially if you go back to 2022, 17 games played in Houston, 44 tackles, 5 sacks. But still, over the last 2 seasons, 7.5 sacks combined, over 50 combined tackles, 17 tackles for loss. Like, he's one of those guys who he's not going to go out and he's not going to get you double-digit sacks in a season, okay? I don't know if you're going to be able to find any of those guys right now in the free agency market. If you want to find one of those guys, you're going to have to go trade for him in the likes of a Trey Hendrickson or a TJ Watt. But for a guy like Ogbo Okoronkwo, like, it would be a solid addition. Like, I wouldn't be upset by it, right? I would not be mad. I wouldn't hate it at all. Like, I think the more competition you have in this room, and I'll touch on this in a second, but like the more competition you have in this defensive line room, especially at the pass rushing side of it, the edge side of it, like I think that's only a good thing. We all know that this group was good last year. They weren't great. They got sacks. They didn't get consistent pressure. So the more bodies in there, the better. What say you guys? Let me know in the comment section down below. Should the Packers sign Ogbo? Give me a yes or a no. Yes if you think they should. And if you think they shouldn't, go ahead and give me a no and tell me why. You look at this room, and like I said, down at the edge, you got Rashawn Gary, Lucas Van Ness. I'm excited about them. I really want to see a step up from Lucas Van Ness. And then you got Kingsley and Igbari. Bear and Sorrell I'm really excited about. I think Colin Oliver has a really, really high ceiling as well. But like I just said, like the more competition, the better. Lucas Van Ness, he needs to take that step up. And also, speaking of him being an edge rusher, Matt LaFleur talked about after minicamp and after OTAs, he's going to get a lot of snaps at the interior on that defensive line. He's bulked up, put on a little bit more weight. I think that's honestly a pretty good decision from LaFleur. It's going to be a pretty good decision and pretty good move by this Packers coaching staff. And so if you're losing a guy who at one point was an every down pass rusher, you can add one in. That's just more of a rotational guy. There is a ton of edge free agents, though, I will say. There's a lot of options still out there. Ogbo is not the only one. He might be the best one, given his age. He's the youngest of the crop, especially if you look at these 5 guys right here. Like Von Miller, Zadarius Smith, Jadeveon Clowney, Matthew Judon, Preston Smith, they're all 32. Von Miller's 36 years old. But I still think there's some good guys that could give you some good rotational snaps. None of those guys are going to be able to come in here and, play 800 snaps in a season. None of those guys are going to play every single snap in a game. But if you put Von Miller in on third down, if you put Preston Smith in, give him a little reunion with Green Bay and on third down, same with Jadeveon Clowney, I would have confidence in those guys to get to the passer. I will say, I do think that there is a chance, a small chance that Green Bay is kind of still holding out for Trey Hendrickson to see what happens with that situation. As of today, no real news, no new news, I should say. He still isn't practicing. Nobody's practicing right now because it's in the middle of minicamp and training camp, but we'll see what happens, and Green Bay could possibly be interested. Coming up, we're going to talk about Zack Tom, the right tackle for your Green Bay Packers, and his asking price for a brand new extension. But before that, make sure that you guys are subscribed to the channel. If y'all are still watching, we're about 6 minutes through this thing, so it's obvious to me you like the content, okay? The good thing is we do this every single day. Daily Packers coverage, news, rumors, analysis. When the football season rolls around, we'll go live for every single game. It's a two-way conversation. You and me, we involve you, the fan, and it's all 100% free. 5 great reasons to hit that big red sub button. Chad Forbes broke the news just a couple days ago. Says in extension talks with #GoPackGo, Zack Tom is asking for over $25 million per season per sources. And I think at first glance, it sounds like a lot of money. And I think we always kind of go to that and think that because you and I don't make $25 million a year. I don't want to speak for you. I don't make $25 million a year. But when you look at what Zack Tom has been able to do, and you look at what he did just last year, I think there's a lot of reasons that he could want that money, that he does want that money, that it feels like he deserves that money, I should say. He's only 26 years old, so still very, very young. He had an overall PFF grade of 87.5 last year, a pass block grade of 82, a run block grade of 90, and in over the last 2,100 snaps, last 2 seasons, he's led up just 5 sacks. You got to look at how right tackles are being paid currently, though, okay? He would be up at the top of that list, right? And if he's asking for more than $25 million, he would be ahead of Lane Johnson, right in second place, behind Penei Sewell, above Juwan Taylor, Mike Onwenu, Titus Howard, Mike McGlinchey, Braden Smith, and Taylor Moton are all tied for 8th at $17.5 million. I'm going to be real with you. I don't know if I would go over $25 million because I feel like he's right up there with Lane Johnson. I don't know if I look at the two of those guys and if I'm choosing Zack Tom 100 times out of 100 over Lane Johnson. I kind of think it's 50-50 right there. But currently, I'm not freaking out about that asking price. You look at a lot of tackles in free agency who are worse than Zack Tom, got that amount of money. I want you guys to make the call for me, okay? True or false? Zack Tom deserves $25 million a year. What do y'all think? If you think that's true, that statement, go ahead, give me a T in the comment section. If you think it's false, give me your answer by typing F. The O-line room has been interesting so far this offseason, okay? And there's a lot that needs to be figured out before the 2025 NFL season rolls around. Elgton Jenkins currently is still holding out, did not participate in minicamp, did not participate in OTAs. Anthony Belton, the second-round right tackle or left tackle out of North Carolina State, still has not signed his rookie deal. That's along with a lot of other second-round picks. And Zack Tom, now with this whole contract situation, could be holding out of training camp. And this is a group that I'm really confident about with the current starters, right? Jordan Morgan could be in at right guard. Hell, Jordan Morgan could even be in at left tackle. But, they need to get those things figured out. If you go into the season with 3 of your really good offensive linemen, or I should say 2, with Zack Tom, and also with Elgton Jenkins, we don't know how Anthony Belton is at this point, but I don't like that at all. I want Zack Tom in that week 1 lineup. I want Elgton Jenkins in that week 1 lineup, especially if he's going to make the move to center and be your Josh Myers replacement. They got some figuring out to do over the next couple of months. Make sure you got me followed on social media. You can find me on Twitter. You can find me on IG at Joey Petersen at both those platforms. Make sure you're also subscribed to the channel. youtube.com/Packers TV. Hit that big red sub button. Join us for daily coverage of your favorite team.